soon as it comes on, it's got a lag to it. Give us a second.
Did I get it?
Okay, let's go on. Hello, and welcome. Let's see what we got going on.
She's trying to help her mama get on.
Yeah, it's showing live. We are live.
We're in the group now.
Hey.
You know what? It's not showing live.
In the group? It just went live.
It's not showing live on the page.
I know in the group it takes a minute.
Well, welcome. We're going to figure it out. Let me come over to my Facebook page and see where we are. Let's see if it's on my page. Hello. If you're coming in, come on in and say,
Kayla.
It's on my page right there. And let's see if it's over on my KLA Marie music page. It's also live there. So you should be able to go right here.
Yep, on Crave Stars, we're good.
Yeah, your page, the Creative Stars popped up on mine.
It's all in there. You got to go to the actual page. Yeah, there you are. There it is.
Oh, good.
Hello. So all Dad's got to do is go. All you got to do is go into that page and just click on it. It'll come up. Hello, welcome y'all.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm trying to figure out. Do you think we have an echo, you all? If I'm hearing you through here, I don't think so. Do you?
No, I'm not hearing an echo.
Hold. Y'all just chitty chat. Let me get some people in here. I don't know what's going on over here. I'm trying to troubleshoot. Well, you're on your page. That's why you can't find it. Right there it is. There you go. All right. Here we go.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy. You got to go out, though. They're going to hear it. All right. Welcome. Come on in. We're going to get started tonight. I'm asking that you tag a friend. And if you hear an echo at any point, let us know. We have a few moderators in here that are going to be able to help us to be able to get your comments going. And if you are tuning in from our Craft Stars page, which I have not changed the name of yet, or on my personal page, just be mindful that we're not going to be able to see all of those comments live. So you'll have to actually figure it out.
That was me. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just making sure that I don't have my echo on. But if you're tuning in from any place other than KLA Music or on my person,
that's me. I'm just trying to figure my phone so it doesn't do that. Okay, it's all muted.
Okay. You're gonna have to go over to KLA Marie Music if you want to chit chat with us over in the comments tonight. So I'm gonna give us that we are at 6:06. At 6:10, we're gonna actually start and kick this off. That gives us some time to tag our friends, tag our buddies, and come on in and chit chat with us tonight. Like I said, if you're just coming in, type your name, tell us where you're from. But if you're wanting to have comments come to us tonight where we can actually interact with you and see your comments live, then you're going to want to come over to KLA Marie Music on Facebook. So you might be seeing this over on my Instagram. You may be seeing this in our Craft Stars group. You may be seeing this on my personal page, my YouTube channel, and even possibly, I don't think so, but possibly TikTok. So we're all over the place tonight. So I'm going to give us just a few minutes to make sure we got everything going, make sure we're seen in all locations that we're supposed to be seen in. I see us in my group, and I think I see us over on the personal page, and one of you guys said you saw us over in the Craft Stars, correct?
We are in the crafting group, yes, or the creative.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna try to come over into if Shanna or Pam, if you'll kind of watch the KLA Marie music chats. I'm gonna try to stay over on my personal page just to guide some people over to that as we're going through this. But welcome, good evening. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. But as I said, tag a friend in the comments to try to bring them in here, and we're gonna be here hopefully for about an hour tonight. Hopefully we can make that. That work with just that little bit of time. So good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for being a part of this evening with me, Kayla Marie, for our artist conversation and my album release party. Ooh, I have some little thanks to my mom back here for doing a little bit of decorations for me. Many of you have watched me go through this journey. You may not have known me as a musician. You've probably known that I'm a mother and an entrepreneur, that I've been a leader of many craft groups, and I'm a friend to some of you. But 20 plus years ago, music was the center of my world, and then life happened. And so tonight isn't just about releasing this album that I've been working on, but it's about stepping back into something that I laid down over 2 decades ago. So, just when I decided to return to this music, I ended up losing my voice in July, completely lost it. Well, I guess that was June. So June, July, lost my voice entirely. So I wasn't even 100% sure that this album was going to make it physically or emotionally. It almost didn't happen. But tonight we're here. We're going to talk about what God built in the silence. And I didn't want to do this album release alone. I wanted to bring along 2 very important women in my life who have known my journey behind the music. And so I'm going to introduce them to you, and then we're going to kind of turn this over to them. Please be patient with me tonight. We have not went live in this type of setting, the 3 of us, in quite some time. It actually was, a year ago, ladies?
Longer.
A little longer?
Yeah.
That we did a marathon.
Yep. Yet you had me up for 24 hours. I
we
keep
were
telling you I'm old, but yet I hung in there.
It was a 25-hour marathon, but it's been a while since we've done this. I am going to be doing a little bit when I'm trying to DJ the music over here. So just kind of bear with us and pray for us during this little journey. So I want to introduce Pam. Pam has walked with me through some of the journeys of tears and trying to figure out what I was doing next. I met Pam when I was crafting in a crafting group, and Pam and I just kind of, I don't know, we just kind of flocked towards each other. I don't know if it's because we're both Sagittarius lovers. I don't know if it's because we both have a medical background. I don't know if we both have a love of funky glasses and cheetah prints and things like that. But whatever it was, Pam has been my friend, my sister for 3 years now, Pam?
Probably a little bit more, but yep.
Feels like a lifetime.
Yeah.
And so Pam, I don't just call. And what's cool about this is the 3 of us have not ever met in person, but we feel like we spend so much time together. It's like we've just known each other for decades. Yeah. Shanna, I asked Shanna probably a little after I met Pam. I guess I met Shanna a little over 2.5 years ago, maybe. Does that sound right, Shanna?
Sounds about right. Yep.
Okay.
It's been a while. Yeah, it might even be longer.
It might be. It feels like a lifetime ago. Shanna has a love for learning new things and having her hands in a little bit of everything. From a teaching perspective, we work very similar to each other, and so we were all learning from each other. I asked Shanna if she would come help me to teach some in some of the crafting circles that I was in. Then I asked Pam to come teach, and we just started our little tribe of us 3. And since then, like I said, we've had this whole sisterhood. And when I decided to walk away from the crafting business and focus on music, I said, ladies, I have to do this. And they said, we're right behind you, and we're going to do whatever we can to support you. And here they are on probably one of the most I feel like it's memorable occasions for my journey thus far. So I'm so grateful for you both being here. And I hope you know that I love you very much. And I'm glad that you have decided to be a part of this tonight. So I'm going to turn this over to them because they're hosting. They're just going to dig deep and make me a little bit more transparent tonight than I wish to be, maybe at this point. But I'm going to let you two take it from here. So.
I'm just going to quickly say that I'm just excited to be able to be on this journey with you, to see it, to experience what you're going through. Like, I'm right there to be able to learn all the fun things that you're going through, and even the hard things that you're going through. But the things that you're overcoming and everything, it's very, like, exciting for me to see where you are going in life right now.
Well, thank you.
Even though she skipped the part that I am actually her spirit animal, yeah, this is awesome. This is something that is God-filled, and believe me, she's well worth it. It's been a long time. It's this shows people when you trust your faith and how to follow your faith. I really believe that this whole album, actually, that's what she's saying, but that's what she's living. So I love that. It's not just I made an album, sang these songs. If you listen to them, she talks about her family, her sons, her journey, and that's what I love about it, because it's so grounded in truth. So I'm just happy for her. I'm glad that we are at this position, and I can't wait to see how high she flies.
Well, let's just get to your introductions, because I know that you guys love me and I know that you support me, and I am so appreciative of that. But you're just as equally important, because what I forgot to mention is the three of us also have a collective group here on Facebook that I would love for you all to join. It currently is called Craft Stars because we were crafting together. That's how we started it. But originally, that group was going to be called the Creative Station, and it's our passion to bring people of all walks of creativity together to have an outlet where you can be motivated, where we can be faith driven, where you just have a community that inspires hope and is also there like we've been for each other through the tears and the ups and the downs and all of that. So I want you guys to introduce yourselves so that everyone that's coming in tonight can go follow us over in our Craft Star group, which will be called the Creative Station. If you go join it tonight, it's going to be called the Craft Stars, but you can also look for the Creative Station coming out next week, where you can join, and we're going to be going live over there several times a month with different community-driven activities and just events for anyone who just wants to kind of join in and have a community and a safe space. So why don't you take it off, Pam? Tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm a mom. I started crafting because of my very first grandson. I wanted to make some shirts for him. So I've turned that into a business that I'm a nurse that makes things that are nurse driven. I make them for everybody. It doesn't have to just be nursing, but it is emphasized on nursing. Some of the things that Kayla and I will be doing this month is I am starting a what I call it? Wind Down Wednesday. Actually, no, that's not what I called it, because I actually just changed it. And it is changed to, well, dang it, Wednesday Warrior something. I can't remember.
Well, just tell us what you're going to be doing. What you're going to be doing on Wednesdays.
So on Wednesdays, I will be doing meditation, some yoga, some reading of scriptures. It's just a day to, it's usually the middle of the week. I'm going to do it every other week, and it's just a way to reconnect, whether it's to the universe, to God, whatever it is, but just to reconnect, just to have a moment to just breathe, and hopefully that the time that I spend with you will be just as peaceful and that you want. And I will be showing up on my channel and on Craft Stars when I do that.
Awesome. How about you, Shanna? Tell us a little bit about you.
I'm a creative entrepreneur. And I say that because I do many things creative. I have a creative storefront. I teach creative classes on how to make products that I also sell, from shirts to learning how to use a Cricut. As far as into designing using AI to create content, designing it, designing it for your apparel or whatever you choose to design for. And I like to take beginners and transform them into having the ability and belief and knowledge to do for themselves. Because I know a lot of people, when they're beginning anything, they're scared and nervous. And I like to take that and give them the confidence and build them up and know that, everything is not perfect. And by trial and error, you get to the end and you end up with something beautiful.
That's what it's about. Hopefully that's what this album is too. So all right, you guys. It's a little bit after 6, and I think that we've got some folks in here that are ready to listen to some music. So why don't you kick us off and get us started, Pam, and let's talk a little bit about where we're headed next.
So on Broken Knees, one of her first. Wait a minute. I think I'm off.
You are. It's okay.
That's
You
okay.
can shake it all off.
So while you're trying to get
It's
back
only
on track,
Monday. It's only Monday.
while you're trying to get back on track, Kayla, why don't you take us back 20 years? Who were you then?
A mess. I don't know if much has changed for those of you who know me when it comes to that. 20 years ago, I was a new mom, and I was trying to balance school. Let's go back just a little bit further than 20 years. The goal was always to create music in some capacity. But I've spent a lot of my time, and as we go through tonight and the music, I spent a lot of life saying no. My dad was a pastor, and my mom was a teacher, and I can remember people telling me, "Oh, you sing like such and such. You're making music like such and such, or you're going to be great in music ministry." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm not doing any music ministry. I'm going to go into the secular world, and I'm going to do what I want to do." And when you say no, you have to be sure that God says no. And I think 20-year-old Kayla was kind of hell bent on saying no, and I wasn't going to do anything but what I wanted to do. And from a musical standpoint, I just wanted to create and write what I wanted to write, what I thought was trending at the time. There wasn't a soul connection with everything that was going on. And I still had a love of music and thought that that's where I would be. But after, you grow up and you go out of high school and you start to see that you're not going down the path that you thought you would go to, the dream kind of dies. And so 20 years ago, I was focused on going to go to medical school and going to continue to have a servant's heart and do things that I thought were good, but they weren't my purpose. And so 20-year-old Kayla probably was a bit rebellious, more so than I am now. I had a good set of boots on, still do, to be able to kick down the doors that I thought that I needed to be in. And here I am circling back around and finding out that no to God is never the thing to say when purpose has you grounded in what you're going to end up doing once you get there. So that's where I was 20 years ago. Who was
Is there
I?
something that caused you to pause music in your life?
I would say, from an emotional, I'm going to try not to get too emotional tonight, but from an emotional standpoint, like really hard when the one thing that you feel like is embedded within you cannot be expressed in the way that you feel like can be expressed. So internally, I think the music stopped because it was a lost cause, as a mom, and maybe not the best mom, even as a mom, there is other things that you do. The world tells you that you can't, you shouldn't, you should focus, put your head down, work harder, find something that's sustainable, do what will bring in the money, do what will feed the family. And so all of that pressure plus, just not seeing growth happen fast enough. I think when you're in your 20s and you're young, you want things immediately, and we still kind of
Right
do.
now.
We
Right
want,
now.
we want it right now. And so I think that the mix with the pressures of the world, plus not seeing the growth, plus not really knowing who I was. I think that there's a lot of things there. The talent may have still been there and the desire may have been there, but I had to kind of keep that hidden because every time you get wrapped up in music, you can't put it down. That's the thing. It's either you go all in or you don't. So that's a little bit of that.
Do you believe you would, did you believe that you would ever get back to this point and return to music?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, this journey has been a little, it's been chaotic. I think there's a struggle, there's a wrestle. Like I remember once I made the decision to do this, and it's been in steps. Like I didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to go back and write an album, or I'm going to go back and pull the songs that I've been writing all these years. This was a struggle internally with, okay, I've completed so many of the check boxes with my degree and with what I'm supposed to do to be able to get from point A to point B, and I'm still not happy. And I'm looking at, there's still no peace here. And even, you guys have been with me on the entrepreneurial journey. There was a lot of success that came from what I was building. I hopped and said, I stop. Like I literally in motion told you guys one day I'm done. We were headed up. We were on the way to do things that some people had never done. And I think that that's one thing I want people to take away from this. At no point in this journey of life do you have to just embrace where you are then if you're unhappy. And I think that that's something that it took a lot of risk for me to say, I'm going to step out on faith again. I stepped out on faith when I left the medical field for this entrepreneurial journey. Now this is creative and it's filling a void. It's putting a Band-Aid on something, but it's not fully giving me peace. And I'm going to step out from this. So did I think that this is where I would be? Absolutely not. I thought I would just go teach some voice lessons, maybe sing in a show here or there, maybe get behind the piano and play around some, learn a new instrument. But never did I see a year ago when I said I was going to make this album happen, did I see the doors opening in a way for me to make it possible. And still don't really understand how we got here. But I think the journey in the album will tell the story of how we've gotten to this place.
Well, it's been what, like 2 decades now. So after 2 decades, what fears have come upon you for reintroducing yourself as an artist now?
So vulnerable. It's not even, I think the artist, like there's still a question of, am I an artist? That's still something that I have to, you guys would have asked me 2 years ago when I was doing graphic design. I have no trouble telling you I'm an artist because I'm tangibly can put things together and see it. And people were purchasing my art then as a graphic designer. And so it was easy, right? For this, I feel like I had to let down some walls of vulnerability. And I don't know that I really even see myself as an artist, or that wasn't the goal. The goal was to songwrite and to get everything off my chest, to actually put it out there to see if I could have this completion come into a place where I could say, okay, that's a work that I could leave behind for my family. Really, that's kind of where this went from. But to see you calling me an artist, there's a lot of artistry that happens within the songwriting. So I still don't know that there is a label for me. I get asked a lot of what genre I am. I'm not a genre. I'm just Kayla. And I what I'm trying to do is just give something, produce something and put something out in the universe that people can connect with. And there's a lot of fear in being vulnerable. There's a lot of things that I put out here today that some people may not feel that I should have put out. And that's okay. I think that that's something that we have to all overcome when we're putting ourselves into the world, that we have to understand that our relationship with the Most High is more important than anybody else, or the fears that can come with that all of those fears get erased when you step into your purpose, and you start to see the project or whatever you're working on come to completion.
That's good. And through all of this and your fears, I know that you had lost your voice. So what added fears, or how did you show yourself or find your identity through all of that?
Still finding it. I don't think it stops. I think, like looking back, so I know that we're not going to go into depth about me losing my voice today, but I made the decision to start to pick up music back in October of 2024, and going into 2025, there's still that side of me that's like, oh, I can still sing. I still have this. I'm going to go and I'm going to be able to sing, maybe not the songwriting at that point. And that 20-year-old version of my voice is not where I was 43 years. I haven't sung a lot. So there was a lot of trying to get myself ready for that. And when I lost my voice, it was almost like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Is that the sign to put it all the way up? And you're too old for this. Go back to what's already stable. Go back to the thing that you know is working for you. I think that it really was a moment. That's one of those faith moments that we'll talk about tonight, where sometimes you know what your purpose is, where your passion, where you're driven, where God intends for you to be, and where you're supposed to tell your testimony. But the 20-year-old Kayla we were talking about wasn't as dedicated as the 43-year-old Kayla. And so I'm sure there was a time when God up there was like, okay, kid, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, nope, she gave that one up. Oh, nope, she did that. She gave that up. I'm just really wanting to see how bad do you want it? How much do you love it? Is this really what burns the passion within your soul? And at that point, it became healing in the losing of my voice. The fear of losing my voice, it's something that I'm still trying to grasp. My voice is different than it was before I lost it, but I wrote, and I was able to find my love musically in a different way, thinking if my voice never comes back, will I be satisfied with that? I always said, if I lose my voice, I don't know what I would do. And I was faced with that. And I realize now that collectively, there is more to say without my voice than there could ever have been with my voice, if I just let God lead.
So with that, was there a moment you thought that the comeback wasn't going to happen?
Absolutely. I don't even know that it is a comeback. We'll wait and see if it is. It's still kind of in today. I mean, but yeah, like there is I remember having a conversation with both of you all about, like, yes, Shanna, AI. I know AI. If I never get my voice back, could I still push these songs and put them out in the AI space? Well, there went my decorations behind me. It's all
they were
plain.
slowly coming down. It's okay.
It's all plain on the inside, right? That's what we're
right.
supposed to do. You can glitz and glam it all up, but if it's just simple, that's all it can be. But yeah, I do think there's a time period when you put yourself out there, and I don't even know what that question was, because it all just fell behind me. It was something about
Was there a moment that you didn't think the comeback would ever happen?
Yeah, because I mean, you don't know. As a creative entrepreneur, I knew that I would be able to create something with what I was doing, whether or not it was going to be successful, whether or not it was going to be completed. I think there was a point in time when I just, especially when I was trying to get the order of how I wanted all these songs to come together, that I had to surrender and say, God, like, I have to remind myself that, yes, there's a part of me that's doing it for me because I need to know that I can, but this isn't about what I'm doing. This is about what you've given me to be able to put out into the universe. And you guys know, and anybody who has followed me for several years, you know that I'm always keen on saying, whatever you create, it is supposed to go out into the universe for you to leave your mark on the world so that other people can feed off your creativity or feel motivated by you or just inspired by something that you're doing. So yeah, there was definitely a time period when I was like, what do I do with this? Is this me just going so far with it? And will I be able to complete it myself? Will I have to call in other people to do it for me? I had a great team that was able to help me build the music. Will they have to be the ones to finish it? Will I have to put it out into the world of AI? But this journey, there were through all of the ebbs and flows, I think that I found a stronger person within myself, regardless of if my voice says it or not. Are you laughing at me, Pam?
I'm sorry. No, I'm laughing at Mom.
Oh,
She
my mom.
said that she's so sorry about the decorations, that it was cheap, double-sided tape. You should have bought the good stuff.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's okay.
We're here to listen to music anyway. Who cares?
I appreciate A for effort.
But yeah, that's it.
I just wanted the transition. Let's go to your album.
Mm-hmm.
So this album opens up with a surrender. Let's explain that.
Well, I'm gonna let the song speak for it. Why don't we play it? Why don't we get some music going, and then we'll
listen
talk
to Broken on My Knees.
Yes, and then let's talk about it afterwards, because I think the reason I chose this song first is because it tells the story of how I got to this place, and what those days were like. So here we go, y'all.
A moment of silence to get ready for this beautiful song.
Kayla,
It's not playing for us.
I can
We
tell
can't
it's
hear it.
playing for you, but
Yeah, I could tell
not.
too. That's why I was like, it's not playing for us.
Okay.
It did in the beginning and then it went quiet. Can barely hear you.
Barely hear me?
Yeah, it's like you're far away.
Okay. Well, let me do some stuffing over here. Hold, please. Let me see what I got. Well, y'all, I told you, just let's be
Bluetooth connected.
all right. Let's see if you can hear this now. Can you hear
It makes you and it sound like it's far away. It's not having a sound.
I thought we were doing good with this.
It's okay.
Are you able to play it on another device? And
I am. Give me 2
Okay.
seconds. Yeah, because
I hope everybody is doing
Y'all-
well tonight.
y'all just chitty chat for just 2 seconds.
Well,
You got
my
anything
daughter
new
just
going
came
on, Pam?
in. My daughter
What's
just
that?
came in with a dozen roses for me.
For why? Is it your
Um,
anniversary?
my anniversary was Saturday, and it's 30
Aw.
years,
Bluetooth
and
mode.
she brought me roses.
Connected.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
Aw.
Yes. Well, you know.
Did it just happen while you were on live? Of all the times. It's like, thanks, but I
But,
can't
you
say
know,
thank you.
every time I'm on a business call or on live, I come up to my office and it never fails. That's when she wants to talk to me. Talk to me. And so I put it on mute because I heard her coming up the steps and she just dropped off the roses and left. I love it.
Aw. Aw. That's so nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Very
It's a
nice.
thought that's just wonderful. So
Yeah. Yes.
okay, we can't talk about it anymore because I'm not crying. While she's doing that, yeah, I'm gonna do another, shameless plug for Wednesdays. So it's gonna start next Wednesday, March 11th, and it'll be at 6:30, and it'll happen every other Wednesday. But it's called Warrior Within Wednesday. So that's what will happen, and that's
Very
it'll
nice.
be on Craft Stars, and it will be on my channel and my Facebook page. So you can either go to Pam Jackson is my one Facebook page, and my business page is Nurse Grind and Hustle. So
It's very nice. I always enjoy watching your lives because you always just have nice calm. It's just nice. The way you speak, even when you're crafting, it's just nice and relaxing.
I try. I don't know. Ask my daughter that she wouldn't say it's more nice or relaxing voice at all.
All right, ladies, let's see if I can pull this up this time. I'm sorry, y'all, but let's
Yeah,
get
you're
into some
fine.
music. When we tested this the other day, I thought we were doing good, but
Life happens.
We tested everything but the music.
well, we tested it, but I think you could hear it, but maybe when we went
Thanks,
live,
Ron.
we couldn't hear it. Let's see.
Maybe that's the case.
How's that?
Better.
I can hear it.
I can
Good.
All the wrong roads I've taken, all the times my heart was left torn, all the broken pieces scattered, scarred and worn, all the hope that I've lost, the sacrifices and the cost, they were worth it all. All the times I stood in doubt instead of in my truth. All the people I put first, the cycle of being used. All the darkness I lived in, I would do it all again. 'Cause it was worth it all. When the summer thoughts crept up in my mind, when the moments became haunted memories, those times I searched for an empty bottle on the floor, all broken on my knees. My knees. And smoke filled eyes, I tried to sleep away the pain. With pain in my voice, I questioned why this was happening. I fought with faith, but found faith fighting back for me. While broken on my knees, all the opportunities that pass me by, and the masks I wore. All the comfortable places I remained uncomfortably and unsure. All the fluffy filler I passed off as happiness, I would pass it off again. Ooh, 'cause it was worth it all. All the places I still have to go, and the things I need to explore. All the melodies I need to hear, and harmonies I adore. All the hope that I now see tells me I am where I need to be. It was worth it all. Looking back at all the shadows now planted in my mind, where the missing moments are only found between the pages that I write. I still search for more with an open Bible on the floor. I just look inside. Tearing grateful eyes, I sleep in graceful dreams. I understand that through my pain, I found wonderful peace. I fought with faith, but found faith lying back for me. All while broken on my knees.
I love that. I play that. That's on repeat in my car.
I think that it kind of, when I wrote that song, I was looking back at a time when I was in a small apartment in Auburn, Alabama by myself, and my kids were staying with my parents in Roanoke, Alabama. And I was waiting tables trying to figure out what I needed to do. I was still in school, and there was just a time that nothing I could do could take away the restlessness that was there. And I can remember just crying out like, why is this happening? What have I done that has been so bad that I've gotten to this point? Like, I try to be a good person. I try to take care of others. I try to do all of the things that you've told me that I need to do, God, but I still haven't figured it out. Why am I here? I was angry. I was bitter. A lot of the choices that I made weren't good ones. And there was an open bottle on the floor. And I was like, I don't have any faith. Forget about it. You know, I was in college trying to be a biology major, trying to say God doesn't exist. And in that microbiology that I was studying, I couldn't help but see God. And I felt like during that time period, looking back at that, it was fighting with faith, but seeing that God wasn't going to give up on me, that the faith that had been embedded in me from a small child was not going to let me go. And so that part in that song, that I fought with faith, but found faith fighting back for me. It was this battle within that wasn't going to let me off the hook so easily. And so looking back at that moment is where I started that song to today, where I still struggle. It's always a struggle. We go through things in life that aren't easy, and we can try to do our best as children of God, as good religious folks, as whatever you want to put it out there. We can try our best, but at the end of the day, there's times when we fight with our faith. That's the reason why, going into the next song that we're going to talk about, it only takes that small amount of faith to be able to move the mountains. Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit about why I wrote that song. I don't know if you have any more questions for me about it, but that's it.
Okay. So what was happening in your life when you wrote Deep Questions?
When I started thinking about the deep questions for that? Mm-hmm. Well, I think every song that I've written, and you know, a lot of people say sometimes people start with a melody. Sometimes people will start with the words, the lyrics. Sometimes it's just comes together. For me, I might be doing both at the same time. For this one, it was literally, I'm broken. Like that just started it for me. Like I'm broken. How do I become unbroken? And that's where the deep thoughts come from. Like, I'm broken, but there's still something there, that little bitty faith that keeps fighting back for me. That's where I start thinking a little bit deeper as a writer. How
Mhm.
can I take this into something that doesn't just resonate with me, but how does it resonate with other people who have a similar story to mine, but can't find that faith fighting back for them to get
Mhm.
to the next spot?
So was this written from strength or desperation?
Ooh, definitely it's from a place of strength. There wasn't any there wasn't any desperation here. I think that it comes from a place of vulnerability, because it's hard for someone who's been raised and um, brought up in faith, and for me it was Church of God out of Anderson, Indiana, a huge music driven church that you know, when you're brought up in faith, it's hard for you to question your faith without feeling like you don't have enough faith. And I think
Mhm.
that's a big sentence of faith together, but it's natural. And to be able to get to the point where I have to be vulnerable enough to say it's okay for me to say I fought with my faith. I fought with in desperation in those dark times. I fought with that bottle on the floor. It wasn't a bottle of Coke, y'all. It was a bottle of probably whiskey. That I mean, knowing me, it's not a bottle of wine either. It was a bottle of whiskey. Xanax. I'm just being honest with you, like to be vulnerable enough to put that line in there. And I
Mhm.
can remember, let me just make sure my stuff's charging. I can remember all three of us were in a certain craft group at one time, and I went out to go be vulnerable about who I was, and I was told to hold back, that people don't need to know the good, the bad, and the ugly, or they just need to know the good. Don't talk about the bad and the ugly, because then there's too many fingers that point to you. There is a lot of, you have to open yourself up to. For me, at this point in my life, I'm not afraid of the vulnerability, because I see people that are hurt and going through things that need someone to be vulnerable enough to say, I've been there. I've been where you've been in those dark times. And I can tell you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep pushing and have enough faith of a mustard seed to be able to get you through.
Okay. I understand that. So you speak a lot about vulnerability,
Mhm.
and some people sometimes will say that vulnerability is also part of surrendering.
Mm.
So, what would surrendering look like to you now, for you?
Uh, I wonder is being able to not to be able to face your fears head on, to risk it all. For what? We only have one life to live. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is my relationship with God, my
Mhm.
relationship with Most High. You know, like at the end of the day, nobody can take that away from me. And it takes a lot for anyone to put what their belief system, what they've been taught, the people that they meet, what societal norms tell you should be. None of that matters, because when you're not afraid to be who you are and to open yourself up to the scrutiny that the world may have for you, then you have ultimately found peace. And I think that that's what surrendering is at this point in my life, is not being afraid to speak the stuff that needs to be said, because you know your voice is all you have, and you can't lose. And it's not about a singing voice. This goes for everyone who's watching tonight. We all have a voice, whether or not it's a spoken voice, how we act, how we walk. The world deserves to see us authentically, and if we can move authentically, we will start to change the world. And that's my belief system. You got to move authentically. And I'm not going to say I always did that right, but I think at this point in my life, that's what surrendering is being able to authentically move fully in who I am.
So how did you know that this song had to be what opened the album?
I think there was a starting point because it tells the story of, of the things that I'm afraid of, talking about darkness, talking about the I'm not going to call it an addiction, but the world might, but being in an unhealthy place where I put a lot of things before my purpose and before God and before my family and before, I did everything the wrong way in order to be able to get to where I'm at today. So I am not a walking billboard for what to do right by any means. And I'm never going to be that. But I hope that in this, putting that first, that we're able to see that I was broken on my knees with a bottle, something to cope with, to be able to try to find my faith. And as I continued to go throughout this journey, when the song closes, I fought with faith, but found faith fighting back for me. There's an open Bible on the floor, and I'm still broken on my knees, but that's where I'm finding it. That the brokenness is not always fixed. It's not always perfect. It comes back together as crafters. You know this. We break things all the time. When we fix them, it may not look brand new. It may not be perfect. It's unique, and it has a beauty about it to where it shines differently from everything else. And I think that that's why this song had to be first to set open the entire journey of the album.
So through the breakthroughs and the brokenness, what did God rebuild in you?
I want to say the entire person, honestly. I mean, I think that he rebuilt my vision more than anything, and not the vision for the album, but my vision for the things that I can look back at how I was raised. I can look at those pivotal points in my life that made me who I am today, but being able to see them through the lens now rebuilds the entire story. It rebuilds how I now have to see my two grown sons and explain to them how their mother wasn't the perfect epitome of a mother, and the things that she did, and try to go backwards almost in time to rebuild the things that I missed from 23-year-old me that should have went down this path but didn't and got here to this day, and look at how that vision has changed in order for me to see the vision for the future and what God has laid out for me in this purpose, in a way that isn't about me, but it's about bringing glory to him ultimately.
So are you saying that's what broken means to you now versus when you first wrote it?
Definitely. I think broken
Or
right
thought
now.
about it?
I think so. I think being broken at this point is about the beauty, like beyond the brokenness. Well, how it's repaired, like we were talking, like I was talking about from a crafting perspective or from any perspective. We come from my grandparents, even my parents. Like I say, changing that vision. They came from a time where if something was broken, you fixed it. We come from a time period, or now, it's just throw it in the trash and buy something new. And I think that that's part of being broken in this perspective, is you can't just throw yourself in the trash. You have to figure out how those pieces fit back together, so that there might be some small cracks. There might be some things that let a little bit of the old you in because it's a reminder of where you've been. But at the end of the day, that beauty that is in the brokenness can never be replaced, because it's unlike anything else that was there to begin with. It's come back together, and it's in a total new form.
Beautiful. I love hearing about your journey, how it started, how it's changing. But I have noticed you both are wearing the Don't Drop Your Mustard Seed t-shirts.
Yes.
Well, we can't be crafters and not make some t-shirts.
Where do I get mine?
Well, you were supposed to get yours. We're going to talk about that a little later, though. I'm sorry that you didn't get yours with all the winter storms and mishaps of the UPS.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about that a little bit ago. I mean, I don't know if you can even see mine today, but I kind of put it on here just because It's the theme of not dropping your mustard seed for sure.
Love them.
Well, let's hear that song.
Okay. Well, and I just want to tell you guys tonight, those of you that are on here, we're not going to play through all the songs because we would be here for like 45 extra minutes plus talking. So, and you got to go like actually listen to the whole album for yourself. So what we're going to do, I'm going to play little bits and pieces of each one of these songs and give you the rundown on those. But I will do one more full one for us towards the end, if that's okay. All right, let's see. Now I got to pull it up. Here we go.
Grandma placed in my hand a tiny seed on a golden chain. Said, child, when the storms roll in, hold tight and don't be swayed. Back then I was climbing trees, running wild and free. Didn't know that seed would grow inside of me. Oh, life can shake you, try to break you, make you question what you know. They ain't just for mountain tops, it's building valleys through. Feel like you've been tested, stand up and testify. When it gets too hot, remember there's a fourth man in the fire. When you find yourself drowning, that well's gonna spit you out. Don't be afraid, shut the lion's mouth. Oh, keep your faith. Even when you can't see, don't drop your mustard seed. Years went by, I faced storms, found myself lost in the night. I reached for love, I reached for dreams, but nothing felt quite right. Then I found that old necklace in a box from my past. I heard my grandma's voice say, hold on, child, this too shall pass. Oh, I can shake you.
Oh, I didn't want to give it up too much, but that's enough for tonight on that one.
I love that. That's why I was like, I like into that. I like that song. So when you were going through the song, where did the image of mustard seed come from? I mean, I know it's talked in the Bible and it's things that, we've probably heard many sermons about, but for you, where did that come from?
So it actually came from a necklace that my grandmother and grandfather. Well, first of all, you guys know, let's back that up. You all know that every time we would end my live, I would say, y'all hold tight to your mustard seed or don't drop your mustard seed. So that don't drop your mustard seed has become a saying in my house and with me for years now. But my grandfather got me a mustard seed necklace, and I probably was going to go sing at church that Sunday. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and my grandmother went to go put it on, and she couldn't fasten it. So she called my grandfather in, and he had arthritis in his fingertips, and he was trying to put it on, and he went to go, like, you know how when you go put a necklace on and one side falls, and she said, Frank, don't you drop that mustard seed. And that, pretty much, like, in my mind, not even thinking about what that meant as a child, that's been something that I've carried with me. And at different times in my life, that mustard seed or that that moment has shown up in my mind. So that's kind of where the song was built from. So don't drop your mustard seed. In other words, just hold tight that little bit of faith, and that's all it's going to take you.
So did you ever feel your faith was too small? And did you ever feel foolish believing?
I mean, I think that I probably questioned whether my faith was small a lot, just because when we look at, especially from like an artist perspective or a songwriting perspective, we see big things happen. Like we know those big hitters and celebrities and who makes it big and what success is supposed to mean and all those things. And, you know, not saying, I told you my dad was a pastor, so I'm not saying this came from my dad, but there's been many sermons that I've heard over the years that says, if you just keep doing, you will receive, you will do it. It'll come to you. Things will happen. You'll be blessed. All of those things. And I there's a time that I wasn't able to see the blessing You know, like in the moment, again, us talking about wanting that right now moment, you're not able to see the blessing in that moment. Looking back, you definitely see it and what the purpose was. So there's probably a lot of times I didn't think I had enough faith. Not enough faith to be at this place, definitely. Not enough faith to get through yesterday. Sure, there's times that I thought my faith was small, but looking at this song, no, faith can never be too small. It only has to be that small to be able to move mountains. And so from an adult perspective, absolutely not. There is no such thing as small faith. It only takes that little bit. Do I feel foolish for believing that something like this could happen, or that that little bit of faith is enough? Absolutely not, because that's what the Bible says. The Bible says you only need a little bit of faith to move mountains. And I think that, you know, internally, let's take this out of the scriptural context for a little bit. If we have, I've told you ladies, faith and doubt can't live in the same sentence. It can't be there. If you have just that little bit of I can, it will, it's going to, that helps you have that momentum to wake up the next day and do it. If we take away that I can, I will, it's going to happen, and we have that doubt within ourselves, we'll never make things happen. So I don't think I was ever foolish for believing that things could happen. I've always been a dreamer. I think that, you know, that might be crazy to some people, but that's why I'm here. Because, you know, dreams never die if you're looking at where we're at tonight.
You're always shooting for the stars.
Yep.
You're stellar always. It means something, y'all. I told you it wasn't just a name, it meant something.
So what does faith look like when it's not pretty? Like whenever you were going through your vocal treatments?
It's a lot of prayer. And, you know, we're going to go through tonight, and you're going to hear some of those times when I didn't know if prayer was enough. You know, I think that the fact that you having faith means that you have it, whether or not it's pretty or not. I can't turn it off. I can't say, well, today's a bad day, I'm not going to have any faith that something good is going to happen today. Yeah. Faith is, you know, the hope for things unseen. So if it's not seen, you still have to have the faith to be able to for it to come to fruition. It's not just going to manifest itself in some weird capacity because you didn't believe it. I mean, I guess it could if we're destined, but in my belief, I feel like that faith that you have to have, it happens on the worst days, on the days that I don't feel like getting out of bed, on the days that I don't hear the song or the music, or I'm not able to journal. Some days, and this is for those of you out there that are like, I don't know where to start. Like maybe I want to write, but I don't even know what to say. All it takes is one word on a piece of paper. You come back to it tomorrow and you write another word. That's what those bad days, the days it doesn't look pretty, it might look like scribble scrabble. It may be a page full of stars and hearts. It may be whatever it is. It's something that motivates you to continue to go about it tomorrow. You know, that's just all it can be.
So earlier when you were moving around, thought I seen something behind you kind of.
Oh, I had to move. That's my music box.
Oh.
So I have these music boxes. It actually plays. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Hold on. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
So it plays the song and it lights up to my words.
Oh, okay, I see that. What's on top when you look down in it?
Oh, so when you look down, it has a little record that you can spin. It's magnetic, so you can actually take this record out on your wall or on your what is it, refrigerator. But you can put your own little jewelry in here. I just have little bits of my grandma's pearls and things in there.
That's
very beautiful.
Yep. Got a few things.
So
you know,
what song you got coming up next?
Okay. So I'm gonna take us to another.
Can I get that jewelry box, by the way?
Yeah, you can get one. I have those in several of the songs there. I have them available. That one just seems to be my favorite because this might be one of my favorites. I don't know if I have a favorite on the album, but this one right here means a lot to me. So this one right here, I actually did while I had the vocal polyp. It was the first song that I did. in the studio. I wasn't sure that I was going to be doing much more of anything. Didn't know if we were going to have some vocal surgery. Didn't know what was going to be happening. So I actually did that one in the studio. And when I heard it, I was like, well, that doesn't sound half bad for somebody with a polyp on their throat, but or the vocal cords. But so it means a lot to me. So that's why that one is next to me.
Hey, if you guys are joining us right now, if you go back, you hit hashtag replay, you can see what you missed at the beginning. This will be up on KLA Music.
Yes. Oh, what did you ask me? What we have coming on next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What song are you gonna play now?
This is Where Are You, God? So we just talked about faith, and now I'm about to ask the questions. Let's see if it'll play. Come on.
Walk the streets with heavy eyes. Another headline, another cry. Children hungry, hearts gone cold. Another bought, another sold. They say to pray, so I bow my head. But sometimes, God, I feel so misled. I'm holding on, but I still ask why. You're just sitting up there, watching us from the sky. Where are you, God, with all that's going on? I try to see you, you know that I believe in you. It gets so hard to see the world suffering, people doing evil things, doing them in your name. Why, God, why does it feel like you've gone and left the world to figure it out on our own? The good book says you sent your son to show us how to live. All I see are those who claim you're taking more than what they give. Where are you, God? Please let the world see you through me.
That one's a long one, so we'll cut it there.
Beautiful. Were you afraid to release a song that questions God? And did you think the song was too honest?
I wasn't afraid to release it. I definitely think that questioning God is part of the human experience. I'm reminded of a story that my dad, I think I asked this question a long time ago, probably in my early 20s, like, where is God? Like, where this song started for me, there was a shooting in Dadeville, Alabama, that was a mass shooting several years ago, and my son lost his best friend, and my friend lost her son, and I wrote, "Where are you, God? Where in the world are you?" And that's kind of where the song started. But as a young girl, I can remember asking my dad, like, where is God? Like, in all of this, is it okay for me to ask that? And my dad reminded me of after the Holocaust, the Jews putting God on trial and them finding God guilty, but afterwards they praised him. And I think that it's okay for us to question God. He's a big God. He's big enough for us to come to with all of our worries and all of our fears. I know we just talked about faith and having a little bit, and we shouldn't have doubt. There's not a doubt that God's there. It's where are you in all of this? You know, where what are you doing? And the song there isn't just about questioning where God is. It's about seeing him within myself. The only way we can see God and allow the world to see God is if he's visible within us first.
Yeah.
That's the way that the world's able to see him. And it's not so much about questioning his whereabouts, is
Yours.
am I able to wake up every single day? That's a lot of pressure now.
It
And
is.
be that face or be what the world sees. We didn't play the part of that song, so I hope you guys will go listen to that song in its entirely. But the part of that song says, I try to be the salt of the earth, a light to the world, a city on a hill that can't be hidden. But if I can be your hands and be your feet to a world in need, please let justice move, let mercy speak, so that I can be that voice for everyone. It's not a call of where are you? Hey, I don't see you. It's a call to action for those who are believers and those who are children of God, for us to be that in the world when the world is dark, for us to be the light.
That's awesome. I love that.
Don't cry, Sam.
What did the silence, which can be very deafening, teach you?
Silence is hard, right? So one of my favorite songs is "The Sound of Silence," written by Simon and Garfunkel. And I think sometimes the silence is when we hear who we are supposed to be, what our purpose is in the whole kingdom, and how we're supposed to take ourselves and be that light to the world. The silence doesn't mean that there is nothing given to us. In silence, for me, there's a lot of thoughts that come to me, thoughts about myself, thoughts of, is that God speaking to me, or is that what I wish God would say? Or, there's a lot of going through the motions of, is that my voice? Is that really God? Is that a voice of something else that I am saying is God's for my own favor? That happens all over the place. That's the reason we had to be very careful when we say God gave that to me. Did God give that to me, or is that something that I gave myself and it wasn't through God, and it's not telling the story or the imagery of who God is, and who Jesus is supposed to be in my life? So I don't think that the silence was a bad thing. I think that the silence allowed me to see God in a different way, and to be able to see who I am supposed to be, and challenge me to be in that silence.
Okay. I like that.
You guys are giving me a lot of heated questions here.
I think a lot of people can connect with that song. Like, just that, because there's, especially now in the world, I mean, there's a lot of people questioning a lot of things. I mean, so, like, I don't want to say timing, but
Timing.
Yeah. I mean, who knew?
How I see God and where I see God may not be the same as where you see God and how you see God. And there is nothing wrong with that. You could see God in the dog down the street, in just something action that he does. We don't know where God is everywhere, right? If we feel like God is there, then we can see him in the smallest things and the largest things. So I think part of us as humans, when you talk about timing, I hope that when we're talking about where are you, God, we start to see God in places where some people or some things in society say God isn't, because God is never not there. He might be there in the things that we can't see, that are so minute that we need to look a little harder. That's the reason I said that vision, the change in vision, sometimes allows us to see things from a different perspective. You're able to see God in a different way. And that's what I'm hoping that song will do to those who listen to it fully.
There's something special coming for this song, isn't there?
There is. And that actually might help people to see the song. So I've been blessed that my dad loves to do film, and he is putting together my music video for this. I think this song is the imagery that I have, that I want this song to convey. I think it will help people see what this song means even clearer with the music video. So that will be out next week here on this platform and on my YouTube channel.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that sounds fun. So you're saying that it will be on your YouTube channel, but aren't you on like already on Spotify, Apple Music, um,
All of them.
Pandora?
All of them.
But
All
on YouTube, should I think that everybody should just subscribe and like, and then that way, anytime you're putting anything out, we can see it.
Yes. So the way that YouTube actually works right now is I have a YouTube channel for my music where my music goes, but my actual official YouTube channel that has like my music videos, that's KLA Marie Music. And so same thing. I'm trying to keep it across the board. You can go follow me everywhere. I really am trying to get up enough followers on TikTok so I can go live and do some nighttime jams over there. But yes, so I have an official like song YouTube, and then I have my official YouTube. That's where all the music videos will be. So KLA Marie Music, and KLA is actually Kayla for those people who are like, "What is KLA?" Kayla. That comes from me signing my name K really fast when I was young as KLA. So Kayla Marie Music. You can go follow me on YouTube and get all of the updates. Subscribe to that. I just saw my cousin come on. Hi, cousin Lee.
So, what do you say to somebody that may be in the same season that you're in right now? So, like right now, I'm in a season of, I believe abundance is coming, but it's I have a season of clarity that's also coming. So somebody who may not be in your season right now, how
Maybe they were in my season of trying to figure out where God was.
Mhm.
Keep looking. That's my I mean, honestly, that's the only thing I could say. Like if you just have a little bit of faith, have mustard seed faith, grab yourself a mustard seed, throw it in your pocket. Like at the end of the day, if you have a little bit of faith and you're looking for God, you'll find him. You know, like it's the journey, right? You
Yes.
can't my journey is not going to be like yours, but I would say every day if you wake up and um and you ask God to give you clarity, to show you how to, I think that we sometimes think because we are in a season of clarity or I'm in a season of needing abundance that it's just going to come to me. No, it's about asking God how to show you how to become abundant, how to bring abundance to you. There's work that's required. Faith without works is dead. I can have all the faith I want, but if I'm not doing anything to push it, then I'm not, this album would have been dead if I wouldn't have still got myself in the studio, if I wouldn't have gotten up every single day and said, regardless of how bad I hurt, I'm still going to try to sing, or I'm still going to do what I need to do. Like, that's what I can tell you. If you will just have faith and you will put in the work and you will look for God, you will find whatever season that you need to find will be coming. It is coming.
That's awesome.
If you're just turning in now, when this live is over and stuff, go back and watch what you've already missed, because we're probably about an hour in now. So there's a lot of good songs to listen to, and listening to some of Kayla's answer some of our questions. So go back. If you see the little red live button on Facebook, if you see it on and the red, then we're still live. But otherwise, go back and don't forget to hit hashtag replay.
I think also leading into this next song, you got to praise him in those valleys. You can't stop praising, And so I don't know if you had another question, but I was ready to play another song. Shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's hear.
Let's hit it. And I don't know if Sandy's still on here, but I gave Sandy a sneak peek, and Sandy said this was her favorite. So here you go, Sandy.
I lost my song in the shadows. My voice felt quiet in the storm. I tried to climb without a whisper, but that I was broken and worn. Every note I couldn't sing, you turned into a prayer, and in the silence, I found you were still there. I'll praise you in the valleys, not just on the mountaintops, 'cause you have been faithful and showed me who you are. You've held tight to my hand when I felt the darkness closing in. So I'll praise you in the valleys, not just on the mountaintops.
There we go.
Bluetooth mode.
Bluetooth mode.
Bluetooth connected.
Thank you for connecting.
So I love a praise and worship song. That's my judge. I love it to death. You will see me singing at the top of my lungs in my car, praising him. But I know there's a lot of times where you don't feel like praising him and you are in that moment. Do you feel that like praise is a decision or a feeling?
Ooh, I think it's both. I think that if you decide not to praise him, you won't ever feel like you need to praise him.
Mhm.
If you praise him in the moments that you don't feel like it, the decision to praise him will make the feeling it'll be a more positive feeling. I don't know. I'm trying to make that too deep there, but I think that they have to go together. I think it's a decision that every day it becomes a habit. It's no longer a decision. Every day I'm praising him in some way, whether it's my actions, whether it's the song I write, whether it's waking up and just prayer and being thankful. Like, it's just part of the lifestyle that it's included. I think at some point when, walking away, if I'm 20-year-old me, didn't make the decision to worship, didn't make the decision to praise in those valleys. And so when you walk away from the decision to praise and have those worship times, you will find yourself further away from those moments of clarity, the moments of trying to be close with God, right? So I think that it has to be an initial decision that yes, I'm worshiping, I'm praising him through whatever comes, my way. The good, the bad, the ugly, I'm going to praise. But at some point in time, when it's a habit, the feeling that I have to worship takes over the decision that I'm making. It just becomes an embodiment of who I am when I'm in relationship with God.
So what shifted between where are you, God, and this new song?
Well, first, I think that where are you, God, is a challenge question. Like, where are you? I'm finding that in order for me to see him, I've got to start living out that call on my life that I have to be him, or I have to be a face for him or the light for him in this world, which means I have to change my actions to make sure that who I am, who the world sees, is who I'm reflecting him, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, it becomes, now that I'm worshiping him and I'm showing him to the world, that I've got to make sure that I'm praising him in the valleys, because the world lives in the valley. The world is in the valley. In order for them to see that there is something on the mountaintops, they've got to see him through me. So I have no choice but to be able to praise him in the valleys. Now, this song came about because I had that vocal polyp and I wasn't real sure if I was going to be able to, this is a deep song for me because there were nights I couldn't sleep. Like, okay, God, you brought me to this point. You told me just to go. I told you, okay, finally, I'm getting in the boat and I'm heading to Nineveh. I told you 1,000 times I wasn't going, and I'm finally going, and I'm going to do it your way. So from that, I could have went, there's 20 years of writing. So there's a lot of secular music that could have come first. And I kept going back and forth, and it was like, God kept saying to me, have faith put out what I need you to say first, and everything else will come. And then it was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm getting in the boat, headed to Nineveh. Don't eat me, fish. Just I've got there. I'm going. And then the fish swallowed me anyway because I've lost my voice. And I could have done two things. I could have just been like, well, that's it. Forget about it. Thanks, God. And been that bitter person that was there with broken on my knees at the very beginning. Or I could have done something different. And at that point, everything changed. Those sleepless nights became me at the piano saying, okay, regardless of if I ever get my voice back, I'm writing the song because there's something inside of me that has shifted, that I'm going to give glory and praise to him regardless of where I'm at in my life, because only he can get me to where I'm supposed to go in my purpose. And that's that ultimate shift, that frame of mind that I think that we have to have as people of God. We don't always have it figured out. We're not always going to be perfect. We're going to sin every day. Not because we have the intention to, but because that we're human. But we have to.
In it. We're born in it.
Right. And I think we have to just say to ourselves, regardless of how bad those days are, if I continue to praise him in the valleys, the mountains won't be nearly as difficult to climb. And again, that faith of a mustard seed will move those mountains anyway. So that's where it all comes down to at the end of the day. Oh, sorry, y'all. That was a little deep. We were about to go to church. I didn't tell you that.
So the next song.
I hope you heard that one, Mr. Mitchell, when you came in here. I hope you heard that one, because that one might have been a favorite for you. But thank you for joining us.
I think that's where we're at.
Is that where we're at? Okay.
Rain on us.
Yeah, so let's have a little fun with Rain on Us. And again, I'm not playing these full ones because we'd be here all night. You can go listen to these on your own.
But I told her she wasn't allowed to have church because we don't know how to stop.
Oh, well, that's true. Let's do a little Rain on Us.
Let your rain fall on this place. Send down your mercy and your grace. Fill our hearts full of love. Pour out your blessings from above. God of heaven and earth, may we see beauty like you do. May we reach out to those who don't know you. Send us your poor, your weary, your weak. May we be the answer that they seek from you. Let your rain fall on this place. Send down your mercy and your grace. Fill our hearts full of love. Pour out your blessings from above. God of heaven and earth, may we be renewed. We lay our hearts before you.
There's a little sneak peek of that one.
Well, Mr. Mitchell said, "Amen, sis."
Well, love you.
What does rain mean personally for you?
Well, rain for me, this is spelled REI, REIGN. Woo, I just totally slipped me up here. Rain, not RAIN, like rain falling. So for rain this is about a kingdom of God being within us. So, like the Bible says that the kingdom of God is within you. And this is what raining on us means. I want that kingdom mentality to come all the way through me, and for it to reach all of those around. And again, coming back to the central theme of the world being able to see Jesus and God through me and how I live my life. And this is actually a praise and worship song that I did. And so this is supposed to be, collective, not just for me, but for other people. It's a little different.
So with this, did you struggle? I know you struggled. We've all struggled to let God reign. And what did that look like?
Well, okay, so this song was written in 2009 when I was doing praise and worship leading at my dad's church. And oddly enough, today I read something. I can't remember exactly where I found it, so it's not me quoting myself or anyone around me. It pretty much said, worship leaders sometimes get caught up, or people in the church get caught up with the worship leader and not the worship leader's connection to the Most High God. And for me, I feel like at this point in my life, I knew the music. I loved the church. My dad needed a music minister, and I knew how to write. But the connection with the body of Christ and the people in the church was not there for me. So when I wrote this song, this was really to me, really like, let your reign come through me. Let me be that instrument that can be seen again, like the theme is here. But it was really a struggle for me because I did not know what letting God reign meant. I understood it. I was in it. I believed it. But to actually go through the journey of seeing how that took fruition in my life, I wasn't there yet. So I guess writing this song early on had a totally different meaning. I was creating something for praise and worship, and I knew what I wanted that to be. But to look at it now, it gives me a totally different meaning in my life at this point.
So would you say it's a corporate worship or a personal? Because song sounds different than what you've been playing earlier.
Sounds different because it was built in 2009. And if you would have actually heard what I sent my producer to work with, you would have been like, oh, really? Because that was my time when I was playing around with some Pro Tools at the very beginning of things. And I was just putting together some sounds and some different keys. And the track, it sounded really cool for 2009, not so cool for anything else. So it does sound different. But I think, it was a collective thing at the time. And I still have some trouble, be very honest, when I look at church congregations, I still have some trouble seeing God within some of the acts of church congregations as a whole. So definitely it has a corporate, like it was a call for a corporate worship. But at this point in my life, it's very personal because of how I see the kingdom of God in my own life and the call on my life at this point.
Okay.
Was that it?
Yeah, I want to hear the next one.
Oh, okay. Well, that leads us to Home in Your Arms. And so I'm going to just kind of let you listen to a little bit. This one's been out for a while. This was the first song that I cut in the studio. And I hope that it's as good today as I thought it was then. Come on. Let's go towards the end of this one. What do you say?
So like the stays, guiding me through my yesterdays. No matter how far I may roam, there's always love that calls me home. In every heart that's held me tight, I found my home, and it feels right. Made a place, it's the way it feels. Wrapped in love, when a heart can feel. Through every storm, through the dark and light, I found my home in your arms tonight.
So, with divine love, do you feel? Because sometimes I think people confuse the two, but divine love and romantic love. Do you feel that's layered, or do you feel that it's just one or the other?
For this song, it definitely was layered. I think you can't have romantic love without divine love. Let's just put that in there. I think you have to have, in order for you to truly have love and know what love is, you have to. Okay, okay. I think it wanted one more end. I think you actually have um, to know God's love in order for that romantic love to fully um come into your life, and if in a relationship. Now for this song, it is kind of layered. It starts out with talking about home in someone's arms, then it talks about my family and the family's arms, and home being more than just a house, home being more than just a space in time, like, and then home being the promised land and all of those things. um you're able to connect the dots to realize that everything is connected and it comes from the divine source of the most high God. And if you can fully understand that love, then all of the other loves will make sense along the way.
Okay.
So what does home mean to you now?
Peace. I think home is where you find your peace. Home is anything that, for me, home isn't a building. Like I said, it's not just this song. Definitely has, my family is intertwined into home. But being on the road to Nashville and every place else that I've been here, home is not a place. Is really about having that feeling of peace, and a place that the song and the chorus talks about home being a place where your heart can heal, home being a place where you can heal. Home is supposed to be that place where you can all of the traumas that you have been through, all of the darker moments, all of the places that you didn't feel like you were adequate, all of those doubts, all of those things just go away. And the love that is there from that divine love to the love that you have in those relationships ends up becoming your home.
So before we go any further, I have some comments, and just so you're aware that some of the people, there was a Robert Carmen. He says
Okay.
hi from Anderson, Indiana, that he loves you, and he remembers an angel singing to him in a nursing home. Ariana Skype says, hello from Virginia. Always loved your beautiful voice. And I love this comment the best. So Mr. Mitchell said, letting God reign for me is Kayla seeing the blessing of how God keeps me from day to day and endure the obstacles placed in my way. That's awesome.
My best friend just popped in here from high school, though. She said home is watching this now.
That's awesome. So yeah.
Hi, Kathleen. Well, I'm glad that everybody is here at this place, because we were talking about home, and we were talking about, like, yes, my family is a big part of that, which I might be most proud of this song that's coming up next on my album. I was only going to play a part of it, but I think I'm going to play the whole song because I'm feeling like I should. A lot of people, I talked about being authentic earlier and how I have to be authentic in who I am from I always kind of have, but there's a lot, you girls know things about me that most people don't. I tell you everything because you guys are my ears and eyes and my heart. And so there was a time when my parents had custody of my oldest son, Jackson, and times were not that easy for him, which also means times were not that easy for my youngest son, Micah. And a lot of the sacrifices that I thought I was making for them ended up probably not being the best things that I could have done for them. But hindsight is 2020, and we are we make mistakes and we don't always get it right as parents. And there's a lot of explaining that I'm probably going to have to do for the rest of my life, and a lot of forgiveness that I'm going to have to ask for along the way. But that's part of the journey.
Yeah.
And I wrote this song, Guiding Light, for them. I don't know that it really belonged on the album, but I thought that it did because my hope has always been, and you guys know I love my stars. I know they fell down from my back here, but I've always had quite an obsession. I'm going to use that word with stars. My grandfather and I always used to look up at the stars and look at the constellations. And I've always been fascinated with the story of hanging the stars and the moon. And it's looking at it from my kids' perspective. My favorite story in the Bible is the wise men. I mean, not my favorite story, but my favorite story at Christmas is the wise men, because I think about how much faith it took for these men to get on some camels' backs and say, "Whoop! Look at that star. It looks different. Let me just go follow that star." Now that might sound really easy when we're looking at it from a reader's perspective, but let's think about it from a human perspective. Human perspective. It rains, we don't see the stars. The clouds come, we don't see the stars. If I'm not seeing the stars for 3 or 4 days, that means that star that was right here ends up being over there. So I've got to then change direction. I've got to still try to find that star. It took so much faith for 3 wise men to travel somewhere that was unknown, that was out of their country, for them to be able to greet this king that was born in a manger. Like, that story is so powerful. And if there's one thing that I want to be able for my sons to be, is wise men, so that they will continue long after I'm gone to look up, if they don't know the answer, to follow the stars that have been written for them in their purpose. So I'm going to now play for you Guiding Light. And I hope I don't cry. This was the hardest one for me to do in the studio. The first verse is for Jackson. The second verse is for Micah.
For you, my sons, may you always search for the light. For those who walk with wise men become wise. Proverbs 13:20. And watch you fall in love with heroes and the game. Iron Man's courage, fire in your name. Martial arts, baseball, then football took your hand. You led with heart, built your own team, took a stand. Now you're grown, chasing dreams of your own, but there's still so much this world hasn't shown. My prayer is the world is gentle and kind, that you fall in love with yourself in due time. Even when I stumbled, lost my way, every sacrifice was for you to see brighter days. I was your cheerleader then, I'm your biggest fan now. And I will remain so long after I take my final bow. Oh, my heart, my sons, my love will never dim. Through every high and low, no matter where you go, if you're lost, just look up to the sky. Let those stars be your guiding light. My mini-me laughter in your soul, like your great granddaddy filling what was whole. When he left, he carried his light, a beacon of joy, so bold, so bright. You give me more than you could ever know. Through all your pain, you stand like a champ, facing the world, never letting it win. Cabbage patch sheets with your big old grin, a heart so wide and inside. My Captain America, life isn't fair. I wish I could take it away. Mama's wish to make the hurt fade. But my prayer is that you stay strong and true. That the world never takes the fire from you. Oh, my heart, my sons, my love will never dim. Through every high and low, eyes. Feel the warmth of my love, it never dies. Through the wind, through the rain, through the echoes of time, Mama's hear my sons in your hearts. Just look up to the sky and let those stars be your guide.
That's beautiful.
I was just gonna say the same thing. That's beautiful. So you've talked a lot about your earlier life and everything. How has becoming a mother changed for you?
Well, I think being a mom, actually, even though things were not always went to plan, according to plan, I think that it did make me stop and want to do things correct for them, to provide them with stability, whatever that looked like, whether that was stability with me or whether it was stability with my parents, having a great support system. I wanted them to know what unconditional love meant, and I think that it did cause me to put music on pause. There was always music in the house. My mom was always playing. You know, we did sing here and there. I think that I see now that regardless of whether or not I was singing, that music was still influential, as Jackson burns a guitar up right next door right now while I'm over here doing what I'm doing. So I think that it changed me because it wasn't just about me. And I think as I, even, you know, at 43, I still hopefully have a lot more years in me. I hope that that becomes more of a focus on showing them who God is in a different way, because they certainly didn't see God through me when they were younger. And I hate that for them. I wish it could have been different, but I hope that at this point they are able to see the journey and put those pieces together. And I hope that this leaves them something to know me by in a different way once I leave this world. But let's not talk about that. That's kind of sad and depressing.
No, we don't want to talk about that. So when you pray for your sons, what are you praying for them?
Well, I think a little bit of what I said before is for just to give them the wisdom to know that sometimes you have to step out of what's comfortable to do what's right. And they're not always the same thing. Even as Jackson being a young boy, I told him at one point in time he would have to choose between what's right and what is popular, because they typically are not the same things. And it's hard to do. The older you get, the easier it becomes, hopefully, for most of us. So I hope that I leave that for them. I pray for their protection, definitely, in a world that's crazy, that they are protected, and that their ability to love outside of their comfort zone can also make them a target. You know, it just does. It whether or not, I'm not talking about it being a heavy target or something that, but people will come at you if your belief is different than theirs, or if you stand up for something that is right, but it's not popular. It takes a lot of courage to do that. So I pray for them to have the courage to be authentic in who they are and who they're divinely created to be.
What legacy do you hope that this album is going to leave for your sons?
I hope that through everything that they understand that loving the least of these is what we are supposed to do with our life in some capacity. It looks differently for everyone, but being caring for the least of these, those people that don't have something, going and singing or playing in the nursing home, like Bob Carmen said, like showing up for people who don't have anybody to show up for. You know that, Pam, being a nurse, like when you have to hold the hand of someone who's dying and their family isn't there, like you've been God to that person, like you having to put those connections together. I hope that's the legacy that this album and I leave for them ultimately, is that they see that maybe I live differently in the world because I'm supposed to.
I like that. I like a lot of this, just so you know.
Well,
So this next song that we're doing, I really like. I
You listened
really
to the whole
did.
thing.
I did.
Well, we're gonna.
She thinks that we weren't listening to the music. We just didn't tell her we were listening to the music.
Well, you know, it just came out on Saturday, so I didn't know if you had time to listen to everything. So
Yeah.
we're gonna dive into some Grew into Grateful. And then so this is the title album, and I don't know if you were gonna ask me questions about this or
No, I
not.
want to hear it first.
You want to hear it first? Okay,
I
we'll
want
hear
to
it.
hear it
Let's
first.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
I know how it feels to be in prison, like falling silence, not in the physical, but in my mind. Feeling all alone and helpless, the walls closing in from behind. I know how it feels to be the woman at the well, to have people look at me and judge my past. Could I ever be more than what I was before? Always been viewed as an outcast. But just a whisper of faith is all I needed to drown out the noise the world created. The purpose the one on high gave to me was enough to plant the seed that grew me into grateful. I know how it feels to be in bondage like the Israelites, not held by Pharaoh, but by the guilt in my life. I know how it feels to be like Job, to lose all I ever had and known, filled with deep sorrow, worried about tomorrow. It's just a whisper of faith is all I needed to drown out the noise the world created. The purpose the one on high gave to me was enough to plant the seed that grew me into grateful. It grew.
We'll stop it there. I know that's your favorite one, but
So, when you sing this, you talk about a whisper of faith. And when I think about that, and sometimes you don't hear that whisper, and then just trying to have gratitude when you don't hear it, like when you're in those valleys, does it feel forced? Or have you got to a point that when you're in a valley that it no longer feels forced, but a habit of something that is that is right, that you have to do?
well, I think that if you would ask me this question before this album came out, that I would say that it definitely gratitude was forced for me. So the album was not supposed to be called Grew into Grateful. This song was not even in the thought of. This song actually came about the day that my mom and I got done at Vanderbilt, and I found out that I didn't have to have surgery on my polyp. So I'd lost my voice, came back into said, okay, I'm not singing for I don't know how many years. I'm not writing, doing all that. Said, okay, finally, God, I'm going to do what you tell me to do. Then you came in and you say, sorry, you got this polyp on your voice. And that's when, started writing again. But this album was going to be called Damascus Bound, talking about my transformation that really hadn't even occurred yet. I mean, I'm over here. It was a transformation, but at this point, everything's laid out bare. Like, I gave up everything. I realized, a lot of people may not know that journey, but to walk away from the medical field that I had built my life upon and my degrees upon, to go into crafting and consulting and doing websites because I enjoyed it and it was better than me being in the studio or in the medical field, to then saying, that's not it either. I'm going to follow what you've given me, the talent that you gave me from birth to do this with. And then for it to be wiped away is a totally different type of grateful.
It's a
Grateful
testimony at that point.
Grateful was forced. I didn't think it was, but to look back at it, it definitely was a different level of growing into the grateful that I wake up every day and it's organic at this point of being grateful. It's not forced. And I think that, for those, like you asked me a little bit ago, like, what do I say to people who might be in that space? Like, the lows, those valleys make you understand how grateful you are and with what you have and what you go through, for it to be this epitome of I'm grown. Like that little seed that I planted, it only took just a whisper of, at that point, I know that I've got this mustard seed of faith. I know I've got all these things that I've checked all the boxes, but to go through this moment of, hey, I'm coming to Vanderbilt to have vocal surgery. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's been a month of me not being able to speak, let alone sing. I'll never get my classical voice back in some aspects of what was said. For me to, again, we're getting ready to go into it as well, coming off of this with me singing classical. There's a lot of grateful that is there that I didn't even know was there. It's definitely not forced at this point. It's the journey to become organically grateful. That I think it's easy to say, hey, I'm grateful for that. I think we think even in Thanksgiving, everybody says, say something you're thankful for, but there's so much to be thankful and grateful for just by being alive that we don't even think about. That's that change in vision that happens along the way in this album.
Yeah, sometimes I have to go back and think when something happens, like, but what does this compare to what could be worse? Like, that
This could be way
like,
worse.
Yeah. So what do you grieve about that you don't talk about? Or what did you grieve about that you don't talk about?
Well, I think the biggest grief that I think a lot of us don't talk about is, who was I back then? Who is that little girl? I know that we are and we're getting close to the end of this. Thank goodness. I know we've spent a lot of time talking, but if you like what we're talking about, coming in and being in the group with us, this is what we typically would do in our live sessions, is try to motivate and talk about the ebb and flow of life and how we navigate it and try to help each other navigate it. Then I would talk about being mindful of, and I look at this, I'm like, was I just talking for 2 years? Because I mean, at this place in my life, looking back at it, there was a lot of fluff and not a lot of stuff. And I think, it's a lot of one. There's something to be said about claiming this or saying that this is going to happen, but at the end of the day, being mindful, we have to go back to our childlike selves sometimes to see what our deepest desires, what our purpose was, what our passions were, what drove us, who we were at that point, for us to see who we were created to be as an adult. We don't just leave that person behind. The biggest grief I have is that I didn't trust that little girl who was given those God-given talents to do something with them. I didn't trust the instinct enough to put it on paper, the thought that came to me. Those are the things that I grieve, the things that I wrote down on paper and I just tore up because I thought that there wasn't beauty in it. And so at this point, my tape recorders are full and my and my notebooks are full, because you never know when God's going to give you something. If it's a song, if it's a word for someone else. I find sometimes the biggest grievance that I have with myself is that I will hear just touch that person that's in the aisle beside you. Tell them, hey, say something to them, smile at them, lift your head up, get out of your phone, y'all. Like for real, like get out of your phone when you're walking somewhere and pay attention to people. You can look at people's faces and see if they're going through something, if you're really in tune. And being able to smile at them can change everything. Those are the biggest grievances that I have with myself that I don't talk about because again, being that light to the world, you have to be aware of the world in order to be a light to it.
Mhm. Yeah. So we talked about your vocal cords and what you went through, and everyone experiences pain, but how did that pain help you grow?
Well, it's still helping me grow. It's not done with. I'm mindful of everything from my speaking voice. That's something that I wasn't, like when I've learned a lot from Vanderbilt Voice Clinic that it's not my singing voice that's a problem. It's the things that has how I speak. And you guys, I threw that off a lot. And I'm just very assertive. I'm an assertive talker. Well, sometimes assertion has been taken offensively in my life, and I just threw it off as an excuse. I
Mhm.
think that pain has helped me grow in realizing that everyone goes through it, but how can I inflict less pain on someone else in the process? And in some aspects, that goes back to the whole love language that we're supposed to speak. That godly love is putting other people before ourselves,
Mhm.
knowing that we're going to get that back in turn. I know that that's not the formal biblical definition, but to me, that's what that agape love is 100%. I'm going to put someone else's before me and knowing that God's got me.
Mhm.
And that's that ultimate faith love relationship I think that that we see. So that's kind of how I've looked at those painful moments is my pain can't possibly be as bad as what someone else is going through. So I can't use that pain as an excuse.
Mhm.
I only can use it as power.
I'm glad, because a lot of people do let pain, whether it be physical pain or emotional pain or even spiritual pain, because you've had a problem in a church or whatever, envelop them and take over. And since you started this journey, you've been tested quite a lot between all of the different things that you had to go through, and you did not let that take center stage. I mean, it was something that was going on. It was a blur, but you said, nope, I gotta keep pushing. And just like you said, I was there when you're like, I wrote this, I wrote this, I wrote this during that time when you couldn't speak and you were going up and down the road. So, that part, I'm just elated and proud of you.
Well, thank you. And I think that that's everyone's journey, right? Like you can't let what you're going through right now determine where you're going to be in the future. It will determine where you're going to be in the future if you let it stop you in your tracks.
Yes.
And I think that that's hopefully that's part of our journey, all of us, regardless of what your beliefs are. And I know we're listening to this album tonight. We've talked about God. We've talked about Jesus. That's just where my religious upbringing is, my spiritual center is. But I realize that, like spirituality is a personal relationship regardless of your background. And you don't have to have a religious upbringing to understand God's mercy and God's grace and God's love and how it covers everyone. And to be able to shine your light and taking care of your neighbor is all you need to do when it comes to helping build this world to be a better place. I'm not here to try to transform anyone's belief system. That's not my job. It's not my job to say whether or not you're in a circle or out of a circle. In my circle, everybody's in, because I feel like that's what God does. He opens the circle up to everyone. And so that's not what this is about. But I realize that everyone's journey is differently. And like you said, some people have been hurt through churches, and I'm one of those. Preachers' kids see a lot more than those average church kids.
Yeah.
And I've had great experiences in the church. I love my church family. I've loved every church family that I've been a part of, but I've seen some things that can cause pain to be inflicted on believers, especially those in pastoral families, that can cause us to shy away and be like, that's not it. I'm not seeing it. So that's the reason why, you know, like this does mean something to me. And being able to speak out on who I am beyond Kayla, the preacher's daughter, or Kayla, the crazy rebellious teenager, or Kayla, the mother that that had a child out of wedlock and got married. Like, there are so many labels. That's why I grew into grateful was so important for me. I know how it feels to be the woman at the well. I know how it feels to have people look at me and say, she's not it. I know how it feels to feel like you're in prison. I know what it feels like to be like Job, who loses everything and still praises God. Like, I know what it feels like to lose everything or feel like you've lost it all. But at the end of the day, you haven't lost it all. You just need that mustard seed of faith to be able to move that mountain that you need to be able to move. And that verse says, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can say to that mountain, move from here to there, and that mountain will move. That's pretty powerful.
That's very
Powerful. And I feel like that's the season that I'm in my life, is to give a word of hope to people who have felt as lost as I felt at times, so that they can grow into grateful. You ready for something else?
Yes. I'm just thinking how grateful I am to have met you.
Likewise, I couldn't have done this without y'all. So we talked a little bit about grew into grateful, and I come back to it as well, because this is going to be more my classical roots. I didn't think I was going to be able to sing classical music, especially at this point in the game. I thought that I would be training myself for the next few years to get myself here, but look at God, here I am. And this has been a song that's been carried with me since I was a young child, and so we're going to do a little bit of it as well, and hopefully you like it. Let me kind of speed it up a little bit. Take it in.
With my and Lord, haste the day when my face shall be sight. The clouds be rolled back as a scroll. The trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, in His will with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul, with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. It is well, it is well. My soul. With my
I would say if I heard that and didn't know it was you, I would not know that was you. Like the other songs, I know it's you and I can hear you. That If I wouldn't have known it was you, I probably would not have known it was you. What made you decide to include a hymn?
Well, that hymn in particularly, my aunt actually asked me to sing it as well. I think that I've sang that song more than any other song that I've sang besides the Lord's Prayer. And it has different meaning as I've gotten older. I think that including it was important to me because it is something that I've done more classically when I have sang. And like you said, it doesn't sound like me. It doesn't. And most of the time people would be like, what is she singing? That's what I got when I was younger. What is she doing? But I love the older hymns. I just think it as well as it's just a great hymn because if when all else fails, if it's well within your soul, everything else around as well. Also,
when it isn't well in your soul, what does it is well mean at that point?
well, I think that it gives you hope of that. Like, there's that last verse is like the trump shall resound. Like, this is me going on to the promised land. At the end of the day, like, it's going to be okay. If I have faith in God and I have the faith that I said that I was going to do, and I've lived my life according to how I should live my life, I believe that there's going to be something else for me afterwards, and it's going to be okay. But I think, like, there's a lot. I only sing the first and last verse of this song. And I think there's 3 verses that are traditionally sung. I think there's a 4th verse that's added in some rites. It's when peace like a river attendeth my way. So I'm looking for peace. When sorrows like sea billows roll, regardless of what goes on around me, that I'm going to have this inner peace. It's going to be well with my soul. So it's a song that I can lean into when things aren't going as I want them to go, to know that at the end of the day, other people have sorrows too. And whoever penned this song didn't have it all. It wasn't always rainbows and unicorns, like we say. It wasn't all fairy tales and pretty colors. Sometimes it's gray, drab, and there's nowhere else. There's nothing else that we can say except that it's that. But as long as it is well within ourselves, we have found our peace.
I loved listening to your songs, but I have a question.
What?
Are we going to get to hear you live sing tonight?
I think so. I think, when we set this up today, that was the intention. I'm hoping that
everybody. Yes. Let's comment. Yes. Get Kayla to sing live.
If I can
hopefully all your background stuff will come through. Even if you don't have background, sing.
Well, I want to make sure we do this last song because this one it means a lot to me. This one I did. I don't know if this is a question you guys have for me later, but we're going to just hit it now. We have, let's see what we got. Nope. Trying to find it on here. This song is just me and the piano for the purpose of, hold on, I can't talk and walk at the same time. I don't know why I'm trying to talk and find something. But this song was just me and the piano. And this song means everything to me. I really kind of want to play it for you, but since you want me to sing live, I will do so. So let me see if I can bring my track up. I was going to play the piano in here, but I couldn't bring it into this space. It wasn't big enough. But here we go. Let's see. We can talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Let all the earth proclaim and give you praises, give you praises, give you praises. I praise you, I praise you.
beautiful.
Always.
Your kingdom come, your will be done in my life as in your Son. And I sing your praises, praises. I sing your praises, praises. I praise you. I praise you, 'cause you're my light, my truth, my way. You comfort me through all my pain. You're my shelter, you're my strength, and in my heart you'll always reign. And I sing your praises, praises. I sing your praises, praises. I give you praises, praises. I praise you. I praise you. Feed me, Lord, your daily bread, so that my life your way be led. I sing your praises, praises. I praise you. Selah.
That's yeah. So that was not just a performance. That was a prayer. That was a praise.
That one's an oldie. That one I wrote probably in 2003, 2004, and I wrote it for myself, but I wrote it for the church also. In Genesis, we're told that we were created to worship, and then Jesus hits the scene and he says, "Pray like this: Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." And I try to take the Lord's Prayer into my prayer and to make that a worship. This is my prayer every day, that I wake up and I'm able to live out the call the best I can. And I am definitely a fallible person, as we all are. And all we can do is try to, like the prophet Micah says, is to seek mercy, love justly, and to try to walk humbly with our Lord. And I try to do that in what I'm doing. And hopefully, along the way, I can inspire some people to pick up their mustard seed of faith and walk in it fully.
In this next season, what are you praying for?
Health. I think that's a big one. I think, getting my voice back 100% is definitely what I'm praying for. I'm also praying for my back to hold up. So those of you who haven't been following my journey, and I really haven't spoken a lot about it because I'm excited about this album, right? Why talk about the things that are holding you back when you're trying to talk about the things that are propelling the future? But I definitely am praying that my back holds up from some procedures that I have, and I have some upcoming projects that I'm praying for. And so I'm just praying for divine wisdom to be given to me on what I'm trying to do next, that it might not just be my will in this whole process.
Okay, I get that.
Pam, she says she gets that. You got cold. I've kept you so long, you're cold.
Yo,
You had to
yeah, I'm sitting by a window now. You knew it wasn't going to take long before that it was going to be pulled out. At least I didn't pull out the robe. I did bring goodies.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So
I've had so much fun with you guys tonight, though, and I hope everybody tuning in has too.
It's been awesome.
Don't you have another song or?
No, I don't. That's it. That's the
No?
whole album. I mean, I didn't play the whole album because we'd be here all night as much as we were talking.
Mhm.
But I do want you, like if you feel led to go listen to all of the albums in their entire, all of the songs in their entirety, please do. I would appreciate that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
What do you think? What do you hope that people will take away from when they listen to your album?
I hope that they find peace in it. The same peace that I have had, like as a kid, I've been grown up to hear the peace that passes understanding down in my heart, down in my heart. And you don't really know what the peace that passes understanding is until you actually have it.
Yes.
And I think I hope that throughout this, when people listen, they hear something that is peaceful for them, that it makes them want to shine their light a little brighter.
What
I
would
like
you say to somebody who paused a dream years ago?
Just pause it. That's fine. Pausing it's fine, but stopping it is not okay. I think that the dream can always change, but your purpose is going to always be the same. It's going to always come back around. You might have dipped out on it and been like, whew, got this done,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, that's, you just got to pause it. If it's meant for you, if everything within you tugs at you that says, I need to go, then you better get in the boat and head to Nineveh. Just do it.
That's great. That I mean, and that
Everything in life, yeah,
Yeah.
don't stop. Like a
Yeah.
pause is okay, but it's that stopping.
Yeah.
I agree.
So if you were able to talk to your younger self about 20 years ago, what would she think about now?
She probably would have shook her head and said, well, it's about time. And I only say that probably because a lot of people have sent me the message like, finally you did it. It's about time. So I think that that's one thing she would say, but I think that she would say she's proud of me for facing my fears. There was a lot of, we did talk about a little bit of that earlier, but there was a part of me at 15 and 16 that the doubts were into my 20s, that the doubts were very much so imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
I think once you get to this age, I don't have anything to lose, but there is no such thing as imposter syndrome in the arts. Like really there shouldn't be, right? Like because everyone's art is different. And so I think that that's a big thing for me. If 15, 16, 20-year-old Kayla could be sitting here, it would be like, thank you for at least trying it. What did you have to lose?
That's great.
I
So,
love that. What do you have to lose?
yep.
Yep. What do you have to lose? Except people, I mean, like if I have something to say and it's someone needs to hear it, they're never going to hear it if I don't say it. So,
Well, on a little different note, even though it's covered up right now, I love my shirt. So, can you tell them where they can get your shirts, that lovely music box?
we can. And I have,
Yeah, because I need to get mine.
oh yes. And I have something else coming out too. I don't know if we mentioned that earlier. Did we?
No.
No.
What do you have coming up?
Well, I have a song that'll be out in next month. That's called Red Flag Christian. I think you're probably going to ask me what that meant, but so I have a song coming out next month that you can follow here. You can also go to YouTube. It's called Red Flag Christian, and I want to kind of give you a little bit of preface on that. So sometimes as Christians or as anyone out there, we tend to make excuses for why we shouldn't do certain things, or we try to find reasons why we shouldn't take care of each other. And at the end of the day, those are red flags, toxic traits, right? Like toxic relationships we have red flags. Don't go there. Or when the sea is too rough, there's a red flag that says don't swim.
Yeah.
My song Red Flag Christian is about like, it's not, have enough faith to not worry about what else is going on. Just do your part that you're supposed to do and don't worry about anything else. God's going to take care of you. All you got to do is help take care of the least of these in the eyes of Jesus, and don't be a red flag Christian. So that's coming out in a couple weeks. I do have a website where definitely have people ask me about CDs. I do have CDs that are coming. They will be out next month. I just haven't had them out because I have had some delays with my back and things that I've had to pivot to get the album out on time. So I do have flash drives to plug into your car, and also CDs for those people who want them. They're going to be on my website along with merch, my little music boxes, and then the shirts. There's a few designs up there that we have, along with some other ways that you can watch my videos, subscribe, and download. And I will be also introducing in May writing songs for special occasions. So if you're about to get married and you want a special song, come hit me up. We'll figure that out. So that's that. Is there anything else I needed to remind them of?
Let's see.
Not you, but I want to remind them to go ahead and follow us on our collective group, the Creative Station, where we go live monthly about motivation and different activities and stuff. And it's a nice little coming together and building each other up.
Shanna, what are you going to be doing over there?
I haven't narrowed it down. You know me. It's everything. It's going to be positive. Probably bringing in some AI stuff with
Cool.
creating and stuff, with designing, and go that route. And we'll advance maybe later.
Okay.
Awesome.
AI is pretty popular right now.
Okay. Anything else, Pam, before we shut it down?
No.
Well, I would like
Had a
to.
wonderful night.
I would like to just do a brief prayer for everyone who's been on here tonight, just to get you through this week, and just to thank you for supporting me. So I want to do that really quickly, and then I'll tell you one more thing, and we're off air. We won't be on air anymore. We'll be off air. This is getting late, y'all. So if there's anybody that needs some prayer requests, you can totally drop that later. Send me a message. I would definitely pray for you, as will Pam and Shanna. So if you need that, you can drop that later into the messages. You can always message me here on KLA Marie Music. So let's close tonight with word of prayer.
And Where Are You, God is going to drop next week.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes. My video, Where Are You, God, will drop next week. It'll be here. Is there anything else we forgot?
So make sure to follow your page so you can see it when it comes out, or your YouTube, where you
channel.
can like and follow on YouTube too to see it.
Yes. All right, y'all, let's pray it out.
All right.
Dear gracious Heavenly Father, I want to thank you this evening for us to be able to get together and for us to share a little bit of my journey and the journey of Shanna and Pam. I'm so thankful for them and for the family that they've become to me. So thankful for every person that was on this live with me tonight, whether they were on the KLA Music or whether they were in my on my YouTube channel or my private space or my public page. I'm just thankful for everyone who tuned in and who supported me, God. And I just pray that you will just protect them, give them whatever they're needing in this moment. If they are needing, if they're having trouble dealing with their faith, if they're struggling with financial problems, if their health is fading, whatever they're dealing with, Father God, I just pray that you'll just cover them with blessings, that they'll feel the peace that only you can give through your Son, Jesus Christ. And I pray, Father, that you'll just take us through this week, that you'll protect us and surround us with the love and the community that we have here. Thank you so much for sending your Son for us. Thank you so much for the gift of music. Thank you for the gift of friendship and for love and for our neighbors. So I just ask that you will just continue to bless us through this coming week and through this month and through the years as we grow together in friendship and fellowship through music. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, y'all. I thank you all so much. And I'm going to leave you with one thing. Don't drop your mustard seed. Don't drop your mustard seed. Hold tight to your mustard seed. Y'all have a great night.
Thanks.
Thank you.